Hello and welcome to the Talking Heads podcast for Buckinghamshire Business First. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome Will Lund to the podcast. My name is Victoria Brocklesby and I am a non-exec director on the board at Buckinghamshire Business First, and I'm also the Chief Operating Officer at Origin Doors and Windows. Just to give you, Will, and our listeners just a little bit of an introduction as to what Origin does. So we design and manufacture aluminium doors and windows and supply them to various different trade markets, including door and window companies, builders, architects. And we generally play in the high-end, sort of very desirable product market. And we've been manufacturing out of High Wycombe for nearly 25 years. So been in the area for a long time. And we've also been exporting out to the US and to the Middle East as well. So we've got a rich export history too, which is really exciting. And part of that, we have also been involved with the Queen's Award for export as well, and for international trade, which has been fantastic. I know we're going to talk more about the King's Award later on. But Will, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome you to the podcast, and I'm really looking forward to hearing more about what you do. So please tell us a little bit about your story and your business.
Victoria, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be on this podcast. So I thought I'd start off by giving you a little bit of background about Lund Halsey. Obviously, being Will Lund in the surname, I guess you can imagine it's a family company. We started in 1983 by Mr. Lund Senior, who, as of Friday, finally retired at the age of, let's just say, 70s. For his own personal records. But he started off in a garage in Buckinghamshire with nothing, with a Mr. Halsey, who was since bought out about 16 years ago, but the company was already established, so we kept the name. But they were asked to build 5 technical furniture desks for a company in Soho without any experience. They didn't quite know what they're doing. They were both in the trade of cabinet making, etc. They spent 3 weeks working out how to do this. They hired a van. They drove to London. They even did the quote on a typewriter on the way to the job, which I think he was doing. So, honestly, I'm so proud, obviously, of what he's built up from scratch to where we are now. So we've obviously become the market leaders in what we do, which is technical furniture, which is design, manufacture and installation of technical furniture. So for control rooms. Now, when I try and tell people this at a dinner party or in a social environment, they're always like, what does that mean? So not for the listeners, but just for yourselves, I'm just going to pull up a little mini presentation here about the sectors we work in. So broadcast is where we started. We did everything for the BBC, ITV. That was probably during the 80s and 90s. We then moved into oil and gas, process control, security, aviation. Effectively, to make it as simple as possible to understand, those big rooms where you have many people looking at big screens, analysing various different parts of information is what we do.
I'm imagining rocket launches and what's substituting Apollo 13 and what it looks like in there, just an upgraded, more recent version.
Exactly that. So imagine NASA's control room. That's what we've done, but obviously a much more high-end version of that.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah. So we not only do we manufacture, and we're now the biggest manufacturer in Aylesbury, which again, very proud of, and we focus more on the customer service element. So we actually help people from start to finish on a project. So we've gone from 2% export to 90% export within 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And turnover has quadrupled within that time as well.
What's been your sort of strategy to do that? Because that's not an easy feat.
Oh, definitely not. I have to give huge credit to our CEO, Mr. Charles Evett. He came on board 17 years ago from one of our competitors, and he worked, I think, 165 days abroad per year for 3 years in the Middle East, making it work. And this is, he's my mentor. He's taught me what I've learned. I started with the business by accident, to be honest. Actually, I was supposed to be there for 2 weeks to help out. I ended up in the factory for 1.5 years. So I worked my way up. I crossed.
Yeah.
He gave me the opportunity to go to a trade show. We do 9 of these trade shows internationally a year in Amsterdam. I'm half Norwegian. I could speak some Norwegian. I managed to make 1 sale and 1 small project, and I was hooked. And ever since then, I've just been rebranding the company and pushing us forward. And up until recently, yes, I've become a director. So it's no, it really is. I mean, again, I can't tell you how proud I am of obviously Mr. Lund Senior, my dad, of Charles Ebbett, our CEO, who's driven this forward so incredibly with such determination and such passion. And we have a team now of 39 employees in Aylesbury. So it's 39 families to feed. And
big responsibility.
Every one of them gives their all, from operations to production management to sales to admin to design, let alone the guys in the factory, because I've been there. We've got 3 30+ year employees and 5 25-year plus employees, and I think that speaks credit to the company.
Absolutely. And all the people are presumably local as well. They're all living in the same sort of area and being part of that Aylesbury and then wider Buckinghamshire community. What's that meant to you as a business, and how have you found that in terms of developing Lund Halsey?
Well, we have a building that we recently were leasing up until 2 years ago in an industrial estate in Gatehouse Close. Everything else around us got ripped down for either housing or redevelopment or literally nothing. But we decided to buy our plot because that's how much we're invested in what we do. And again, when you have employees that are so dedicated, you can't just move your factory somewhere else. So we did that. So we're the only manufacturer in now that industrial estate around us, and it's like a desert around us. But we said to the local council, we're staying here and we're manufacturing, and we're manufacturing in the UK, and that is something that all of our customers, not just in the Middle East, not just from the rest of the world, but UK customers love. They love to see that we're actually still making stuff in the UK, because everything got shipped out to the Far East, or places where it's, let's say, more cost effective to make things. But we've stuck to our guns, and we are the highest of quality, not the cheapest, of course, but reliable. Probably, I mean, it's subjective, but I would say the most aesthetically pleasing. So we went on a journey with a product design company based in Milton Keynes called LA Design. Started that journey about 6 years ago, and they came on board because we've always been good at quality and customer service and making something that lasts forever. But they came on board to help us make it look good, like the wow factor. When you walk into these control rooms, the first thing you see is these huge monitor walls. Wow, lots of stuff going on. But then the second thing you look at is the technical furniture.
Yeah.
And again, you'll have to go to our website and have a look, www.lundhalsey.com. I'm just telling the listeners, so they have to check it. Because the projects we've done, they're exceptional. We've done Dubai airports, for example. There's 117 operators in one room analyzing every part of that airport, from security to baggage handling to facial recognition, to see how happy people are, is what they told us. But yeah. Either way, that was all driven by our CEO's vision, and myself and my journey. Being half Norwegian, I've moved into the Scandinavian market about 10 years ago, and we're doing every major broadcaster, oil and gas company, security company, whether that now the preferred supplier. So again, the whole export thing is about us physically traveling to these places and speaking to people, of course, but it all comes down to our team. The team, without the team, me traveling somewhere and telling them something is not going to work. So we have now also a internal design team of 6 people. We hired a Spanish gentleman called Jose about 8 years ago. And after 3 years, he loved working for us, but he missed his home. So we said, fine, no problem. Move back to Spain, but you're still working for us.
Yeah.
And he's now built up a team of young Spanish, amazing designers. And there's now 5 of them there. Incredible. And they work remotely, and it's exceptional. So when somebody asks us for a design, they send us a room plan, maybe a rough idea. Sometimes we get an email that just says, I want control room, because of a language barrier. But then there is a project, and we help them through that process. And our Spanish design team will respond within 24 hours and give the project manager, maybe the end user, something tangible that makes it not just a list of numbers. It actually becomes a project, something Incredible. To discuss. Thank you.
That whole, the I think the ability to take your business and your brand worldwide is something that so many companies have dreams of doing, and it's not as easy as it looks. And it sounds like whatever strategy you've been using has worked. But I know you have been recognised for that as well, sort of moving into the King's Award and previously the Queen's Award. You've been recognised for your achievements in those areas too. So I'd just like to hear a little bit around that too, in terms of your award, the awards that you've received, and why it's mattered so much to your team to sort of receive that accolade, I suppose, and what it's done for the business.
Sure. Okay. So the first award we won was the Queen's Award in 2013, and it's based on exportations. So how much export have you done over 3 years, and turnover, etc. That was incredible, an amazing moment. Princess Anne came to visit our factory. At the time, our factory, before we'd had refurbed recently, it wasn't the best of offices. We even refurbs our women's toilets just in case she had to use them. Okay, I know that's one to say. It's based.
I love that.
Yeah, no, we did, and luckily she actually used them, because that was at an
you must use the bathroom.
Yeah. Please drink some more water.
Please, your Royal Highness, please.
Yes. And then that was incredible. So Mr. Lund Senior, I went to the palace, met the Queen. Unbelievable. We have, you got to use the logo for 5 years. The Middle Eastern customers are very high up on their royal family engagement. So that meant huge amounts to them. So that, especially in Saudi Arabia, UAE, to have that award and to show that we've done that, it speaks highly of what we're capable of as a SME, a family company with 39 employees. We then won it again in 2016, when I had the pleasure of going to the palace and meeting the Queen. And then this year we won it again, which is now obviously the King's Award, and Mr. Lund went to visit. This is Windsor Castle this time. And yeah, I'm so proud of. It's not just I'm mentioning Mr. Lund or myself or Charles, but it's the whole team that's made this happen. And I can't emphasize enough, how our team works.
Yeah,
we're all individuals. Everyone's very good at their certain roles, but we actually work incredibly well as a team. And without the team, none of this would happen.
Yeah. And how do they feel about winning the King's Awards? I mean, it must be fantastic recognition for them. I'm sure you guys are telling them all the time that what a great team you've got. How was it for them?
Yeah, no, we to be honest, we didn't play it. We played it down a little bit this year because obviously 3 times winning, but they were over the moon, because they all know that every part of what they do makes this happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, it goes back to the team again. The team we have is so strong. You can't have employees that have been working for you for this many years without wanting to.
Mm.
And that says a lot about, I guess, the people in Buckinghamshire. It says a lot about our work ethic. It says a lot about them as individuals. So I want them to have the most credit on this podcast.
No, absolutely. No, that's really kind. It sounds like you've got a wonderful company there. And just in terms of going back, and you obviously won your first award in 2013 and two more since then. So you've realised the benefits of winning the award as well. What would you say to people that are thinking about entering the King's Award in the future? And would you recommend they do it? And in terms of the process, do you have any tips for them of how they might go about it and bring everybody on board within their business?
Mm, interesting. Well, it all depends. So obviously we have a very niche business.
Yeah.
And we've broken into the export market. So, and we've done that through being niche and the best at what we do within our very niche sector. So if you do have a local business in Buckinghamshire or anywhere in the UK and you want to do it for export, you need to work out what's your USP and how you can utilize that to expand abroad. And that doesn't happen overnight. It happens over, like I said before, many trips abroad.
Yeah.
We do 9 trade shows a year, all of them in different countries, different time zones. I would just say work out your USP, work out how that could, with a UK manufacturing or a UK stance, could affect the rest of the world, and just drive with it. But again, I can only come from my own experience with a manufacturing and service background. There's the King's Awards for various other things, innovation, for example.
Yes.
That's something we looked at as well. We actually in-house developed a virtual reality system and a configurator online independently, where you can go on our website and you can make your own control room effectively. And then with a click of a button, put your VR headset on and walk around this virtual space. And we did that in-house with one Buckinghamshire gentleman who is a genius, I must say. And there's so many different routes, but so I can only go from my own experience. But I'd say you have to work out what your niche is and strive towards that. That's all I can say. That's what we've done.
And sounds like it's incredibly worthwhile doing. I know from our experience at Origin, winning one of the Queen's Award at the time for international trade, and sadly it was during COVID, so I didn't get to meet the Queen, but which was a real shame. But nevertheless, the certificate and the award take pride of place in our head office. And I think for everybody working, certainly at Origin, it's given them a sense of pride. And like you say, it's that sort of stamp of approval around the world that says, actually, you've been recognised by the Queen at the time, or the King now, as a business that's worth doing business with. And certainly for you guys looking to expand your company in various different areas across the globe, hopefully that's given you another reason for people to buy from you, which is incredible.
Of course. But I'm very sorry to hear, Victoria, that you didn't get to go into Palace, because it was surreal when I went, I must say. A small anecdote, I must say, is when we were all stood in this room, this amazing room within the Palace, and just talking amongst ourselves. They were dishing out champagne like no tomorrow to get everyone to mingle, I guess. They brought up the Queen, bless her. She was quite old at the time. And then I literally had a tap on my shoulder. I turned around and Prince Philip just looked at me and goes, "What do you do?" And I said, "Control rooms." He goes, "Very good, carry on." And then walked off. And I thought that was just the most surreal yet amazing experience. I don't know. It just, there you go.
Well, it doesn't get better, does it? That's just a once in a lifetime. Well, actually, 3 times in a lifetime for you, I suppose.
Yeah.
But what
But,
for you
yeah,
personally?
exactly. For me personally, but it was just his sort of sense of wit and humour and the way he pointed in my face and walked off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably exactly what you'd expect.
100%. So are you in your business looking to continue to apply, or are you looking for different routes and avenues to get to another King's Award?
Yeah, we are actually, we're looking at some of the other areas. So you mentioned innovation, and we've got some ideas there. Like you, we've got some incredible designers that are all Buckinghamshire born and bred. It's amazing the innovation and the skill that we have in this county. Actually, it always just blows my mind how lucky we are to be in Bucks. It's just incredible. So we've got some ideas around innovation. Which I probably can't say on here yet, and I'll probably get it entirely wrong if I did. But there's a couple of ideas, but I'll keep them for now. And I believe they brought on social mobility as well as another area of the King's Award, which is a fairly new area that we've looked into as well. And then also looking at the international trade piece again. So we're just being a little bit broader around which area we might sort of enter into, or maybe even multiple ones.
I was going to say, Victoria, that's the thing. There's so many different areas you can look at, right?
Yes.
So that for anyone listening
Absolutely.
in Buckinghamshire, have a look at the website, check it out, see which areas you think you can focus on, because there are so many different ones. Ours happens to be export.
Yeah.
Innovation, potentially we might get that 3 years down the line because of our new development of the virtual reality and configurator, right? But
Yes.
I think, yeah, have a look. This is my advice to anyone listening. Have a look on the website, have a look at the winners. Hopefully you've listened to this podcast and work out what works best for your company.
Definitely. And Buckinghamshire Business First are just a fantastic place to go for advice as well. I don't know if you've had much in the way of conversation previously with BBF, but I know we run some online seminars around the King's Award as well, which are really, really useful. So it's definitely anyone listening, thinking of getting involved, going onto the BBF website, contacting BBF as well, because they've been a huge source of information for how to enter and how to place your business in the best way to get the best chance of winning. And I know Countess Howe, who's our Lord Lieutenant for Buckinghamshire, she's just such an incredible advocate for Bucks businesses. And that's actually who we met when we won our award. She came as the representative of the Queen. And yeah, what an incredible lady. And she's just so passionate about Bucks businesses. I don't know, Will, if you know that Buckinghamshire is the entrepreneurial capital of the UK. There are more small businesses and entrepreneurs in Bucks than anywhere else in the UK, which is a pretty cool fact.
But it's a very cool fact. I mean, it makes sense now talking to you. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'd love to get in contact, after all of this, and come and see you and visit and find out a bit more about what you do. It just sounds absolutely fascinating.
more than welcome to come and visit our factory. We're in Gatehouse Close in Aylesbury. In fact, anyone listening that has some sort of interest are welcome.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem at all.
That would be fantastic to do that. So, Will, just sort of while we start to bring this to a close, it'd be great to know what you've got in store for the future at Lund Halsey. And is there anything that we can look forward to? You talked a little bit about the innovation piece and some of the interesting stuff going on there. But what's the future look like?
Well, I'm very proud to announce actually that as of Friday, as of Mr. Lund Senior retiring, we've had Swedish investors partially own Lund Halsey. I remain 10% owner, but they are young investors that will take us further to where we've been before. So they own, I think, 13 companies similar to what we do in terms of manufacturing, etc. With international reach, we're going to be doing a lot more in Saudi Arabia. We're looking at local manufacturing in various countries as well. We've got partners in the USA. There's a company called Lund AV. They're our main partners in the US. In fact, our only official partners in the US. So we are looking to take America by storm. We've already got Saudi covered, but we're going to do it even better. And with the new investors and the new team, the current team, it's going to get better and better. And I'm very excited.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, I really look forward to following your story now. It's funny how, I'd not heard of the company before, and it's just been absolutely fascinating to find out more about what you do. And I'm excited to see what's in store. And congratulations on the partnership with the investors. It sounds like that's going to be, we're going to hear great things.
Exactly. And very much looking forward to yourself and the rest of the team visiting us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Will, thank you so much for being on this podcast. It's been very interesting for me, and I'm sure it has been for everybody listening as well. And look forward to making contact again in the near future.
Likewise.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much.